Hey, welcome back, YouTube. So, I got that CRC stuff in, and I'm going to show you in a clip here in a minute some of the areas I plan to apply it. I was going to show you that stuff that I was talking about here. This is the stuff I was talking about. But this stuff is actually better than fluid film. Fluid film's good, but it has a tendency to wash off, and that, you know, has a negative effect on its effectiveness. If you wash road salt and brine off in areas in the winter where you have that as an issue. But yeah, this stuff, let me see what it says. It says mask areas that's not to be any area it's not to be for this is to be applied is to be covered. Even electrical connections, fasteners, steering, throttle linkage. Here's something else to watch out for. Cancer and reproductive harm. So keep that away from inhaling it or absorbing through your skin or anything like that. I'm trying to see if it tells you how long it takes to dry. I don't know. Extremely flammable, harmful or fatal if swallowed. So just be aware that this stuff might be hazardous to your health. So you might want to wear some protective stuff so you don't inhale it or get it on you. But anyways, yeah, so I'm gonna apply some of that up underneath it and stuff, and I'll show you here in this next clip what all areas I plan to apply it. But yeah, that's the next thing I plan to do is to apply this up underneath it to protect it from road salt and brine and things like that. You know, up here, that's kind of something you need to take into consideration, not just with ATVs, with vehicles, because it has been an issue, and it will corrode a vehicle quite quickly if you don't take the necessary steps and make the necessary provisions to do that. So stay tuned, and I will go over the next part of this video on the areas I plan to cover. So those are the areas that I want to apply that CRC marine grade um, rust inhibitor. Um, Anywhere that road salt and brine can get up in there, you know, uh, it's wise to use that. If you ride in areas where you may be riding on the road where you have road salt and brine and corrosive elements, so that's why, another place when you're standing and stepping all in that stuff, over time, if you use a plow and stuff, you'll see rust here. That's why I included that in that little bit of footage. So those are some areas. I might take the skid plate off and the wheels back off and do the hubs a little bit, and behind the wheel rims and in that area and up underneath it, and try to get a coat of that CRC marine grade stuff, rust inhibitor, and spray that and coat that pretty good. I cleaned it off, if you've noticed. I was supposed to get that stuff today, but I don't know if it's going to be here today. But I was out here looking at it because I cleaned it up yesterday over here and wiped it off and stuff. Yeah, I want to apply that underneath it as a protective layer and coat. It says to clean off any grease. I just washed this with Dawn Platinum. That's all I've really ever washed my ATVs with for 30 years. That's always pretty much been all that's needed. I tried the all-for road wash, but personally, I think Dawn does better. That's up to you, but I don't like the whole tire blackener and stuff. Maybe clean it off to where it gets like this, but as far as tire blackener, I don't like that shine personally. I like it look clean, but no shine. But if you take into consideration like road salt elements, now down south that's rarely ever an issue, but up here it's different, so you have to factor in some things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and probably do all that, try to do it right. I don't know, I was going to try to do it today, but I don't know if that stuff's going to come today in time because I have to go to work here in a little while. Plus, I believe I want to take the skid plates off and do a real thorough, proper job. I believe you want to avoid your brake cables or lines, definitely your caliper or rotors in the front. But that stuff, you pretty much coat all your metal and stuff real good. I think it'd be better, if you bought a brand new machine and you're in a situation where that's the issue, it'd be prudent to do that. That stuff works real well. It works better than fluid film. If you're familiar with fluid film, then you know how well that works, as long as you don't spray it off. That CRC stuff, though, it bonds better and it don't just come off as easily. Now, if you sit and hold a high pressure water pressure to it, it will, as you would wash it off, but it won't just come off by spraying it as easily. And it's good for up to like 2 years. So I'm probably going to do that. Obviously your aluminum won't rust, or the plastic, but I've seen how bad it is up here as far as like corrosion. And again, it's just the ATV, but it's brand new, so putting that preservative on it's probably wise. Now down south, like I said, that's not something you're too concerned about. But even most of us, when we get a new machine, especially if they're wider and we know they're going to get scratched up. And we know Honda is notorious for their fenders fading. I don't know about the newer ones, but I know the 300s and stuff, they were notorious for fading. It's just plastic, just fenders. But I already noticed some small scuffs. I don't know what it's from, but it's not a real big deal. I don't know if you can see that. It's not real bad or nothing. Maybe from when I threw that tarp on it, but again, it's not a big issue. But even when you get new ones down south, because a lot of the trails, the local trails, not the Hatfield-McCoy trails, you got trees and brush and limbs and trees down. This will get scratched up. I mean, first couple rides, bad sometimes if you go on them trails. These fenders are harder than the ones like on the 300 and stiffer, so they could crack and you'd have like a crease here, a crease right here or something. Again, it's a four-wheeler. It's not anything mechanical, but you want to try to avoid it. That's why a lot of people prefer the camo ones in areas where you get. I like camo too, but it don't show up the scratches. And I like red just in general, but the camo, it blends better if you get scratches all on it, because these can look a little rough. But again, it's a four-wheeler, not a big deal. So moving on to the next thing I want to talk about. I was looking more into Honda or Pro Honda oil. There's a company called Idemitsu. I'll put the pictures of the oil because they make their oil too on the thumbnail picture of the video. They make the oil for Honda. They're a reputable company. They've been doing it for over 100 years in Japan. But they're the ones that make the oil for Honda to Honda specs. And I'll probably look more into how that works. But different companies use different additives in their synthetics. And you don't want to mix oils, because sometimes the additives from one oil may not work well with the others and may cause problems. So why I said AMSOIL is probably the best oil, and it's not bad. Some manufacturers do not recommend it, whether they have alternative motors or not. I believe that your machine will last well, run well, if you use Honda Pro oil, like GM4, HPS, or 4, the fully synthetics. The OW30 is like a synthetic blend. So, I'll probably just put your regular GM4 oil at the first oil change, assuming that it's not extremely cold. I'm still waiting on the registration, has yet to arrive, so that I can get the plates. And then I'll be legally ready. I do think I'm going to take that safety course. It's just online, just so I know their hand signals up here. We don't use none of that down south. It's not really necessary because, people just know, it's very common to ride ATVs. Anyways, so I'd recommend using Honda's oil. I believe if you use their oil, your machine's going to run good. It's going to last. Whether it's the best or not, I don't know. But we're not scientists here. We may have better experience with some oils, and I do recommend you stay away from SuperTech, Honda, or not Honda, but Walmart oils and stuff like that. I don't really believe Valvoline and Pennzoil's that great either, but for like a Honda ATV, I'd say stick with their oils and you won't really go wrong with using their oil. If you have anything to add, I'm sure somebody has something to say. People, they always have something to say. But I've known people that have always used Honda oil. The machines still run to this day, and that may have been from the 90s, you know? That's all they've ever put in it. So, still runs fine. So, you know, that's a pretty good indication that it's probably all you need to really use. Now, the first engine oil change, like I said, I'll probably just put regular in it, but I don't know that I'll get another 600 miles on it. Lord willing, I don't know what will happen. But I get another 600 miles on it, then I'd probably go to one of their fully synthetics. Because I think, you know, it'd be fine to do that. But I'll probably have to switch to the OW30, though, the middle of the winter time. Once it gets down below 20, because it does get that cold. And it'd probably just be prudent to go ahead and put that once it starts getting that cold. So that when I come out here and start it, if I ride it up the back alley and stuff, or if I even go out taking it riding, because, you know, I can ride in the wintertime too on some trails. I just wanted to kind of give an update. I did do some research on Honda oil and who makes it for them. And Enos in Japan too might make some of their oils, but I think for the most part Idemitsu makes their oils and lubricants. But I guess that may conclude it for this episode. I was hoping that stuff would come today so that I could probably do it, but at the same time I think I want to remove that skid plate, and I might show you me doing that. And any other metal components, like I said, the brake, the foot peg there, not the racks or the handlebars. I don't see that as being necessary. I'll consider this back one maybe, if it could kick up road salt and stuff. But I don't know. But yeah, so that'll probably conclude it for this episode. Just an update. I didn't make any other videos. Just working the shifter this past weekend a little bit. Yeah, it's getting there. It just takes time. I'll have to get me a different type of boot or something, because these steel toes I wear regularly are too big. I don't want to wear tennis shoes, so I have to find me a proper boot for that. But yeah, so that'll conclude it for this episode. Hopefully I'll get a video not too long of riding on the actual trail and stuff. Maybe get me like a chin mount for a helmet. To get a good, you know, handlebar view, front end view, like a POV view, and give you my overview, which, you know, there's plenty of those already. Basic foot shift. I'll try to think of some things that other people that have done reviews haven't covered. I'll have to do a little bit of looking up on that and try to cover some things that other people haven't covered. But I'm not aware of anything else. I will say this though, the stock tires are going to be more comfortable than like a 6-ply aftermarket tire. They do kind of have a bouncy effect. I've seen some drawbacks with it when you're like this on a hill. because they can have more of a bouncy roll effect. If the ATV is positioned like more like this, it can roll over. I did that before on another Honda 350 my younger brother had. It just rolled over. It wasn't bad, like a crash or nothing. It just rolled over real easy because it was real slow speed. There was no momentum going forward. I was actually backing up, and it kind of went into a ditch and just rolled over real easy. But no, there's nothing I'm aware of. Again, if I find anything else, I'll let you know. And maybe it's just a boring video, I don't know, but I just want to cover a few things, give an update. All right, I'll see you again here next time on the ground.